bought another outboard motor. Look, I wasn't planning on it at all because I have several outboard motors. I have 2 outboard motors. The Mariner needs a service. It just needs a little tweak. The Evinrude needs more of a tweak, and they're both gonna get fixed by Steve, whose dad just died. But I wanted to have something completely reliable, and I mentioned it to my friend Bob, who has a boat on the same pontoon as me. He's a nice guy from Newcastle, and he's like, you can have mine cheap. The reason I'm taking this little trip is because I want to check out the location of where the boat's going to go. One of the reasons you have the 2 strokes is because they're a lot lighter, but honestly this one is probably 25 kilos and the 2-stroke Mariner is about 22 kilos. So for a little bit of extra weight, I got a lot more reliable motor. This is Tony Bill's pier. I stuck that on there about 6 weeks ago. Tony is now somewhere just near Cape Verde Islands, south of the Canaries, on his way to the Caribbean. But he was a major part of this particular mooring. You want to go for a beer? Yeah. So I named this pier Tony Bill's Pier, and the signpost is still there. That was funny. I don't know if you remember, a year ago, my dinghy wandered off. Probably because it wasn't tied up properly, but I woke up in the morning, and no, it wasn't in the morning, it was in the afternoon. I'd taken the boat out, and then I forgot to tie it to the boat when I got back, and it just drifted across the bay and ended up in the Maltese Navy. And I was just talking to this chap here, and he's like, oh, Jaywalking the World, I remember you, you lost your dinghy. I was the person on the boat who picked it out of the water, and we gave it back to you. That's what I like about Malta. You see how quiet that motor is? It's just purring. So this area is going to be my new hood. I really like it here. The shops are literally just there. The bars and the shops and everything. And it's really nice. I mean, there's nothing to complain about, except you need a reliable dinghy and motor. So I got that sorted, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to coming back here. It's really nice. Good place. Kind of wish I hadn't spent all that money in the marina, but as I said, I thought I was going to have a job, but I don't regret it. But you know, all of a sudden when you start running out of money, you're like, whoa, 5,000 for that. Hey. But you know, whatever. Passage, as they call it. It's about 1.2 kilometers, but whatever, you still need to take things a little seriously because you don't want to damage anyone else's boat. So we're clear here. Okay, gone through the checks. Now we just need to ease out very slowly. There's a slight wind blowing us towards the dock there. You have to be careful you don't accidentally leave it in gear. You gotta check it all the time, because you'll find yourself just drifting slowly towards a boat, and you're like, why am I drifting towards that boat? But it's because you left it in gear. This is where having 2 engines is just total godsend. I couldn't do it if I didn't have 2 engines. I mean, I guess I could, but it'd be tricky. I'm actually really looking forward to the next period of my time here in Malta, because the last one was me just getting to know Malta, getting to know a few people here, making a few friends, exploring a bit. But the next section is, all right, we're going to make a movie film. So, big difference. Well, what was supposed to be a really easy task has turned into a bit of a pickle, because as I was coming in, this mooring buoy down here was over there, and I hooked it, not a problem. I'm like, great, everything's going fantastically. And then as I started to pull it in, I realized it wasn't attached to anything. By this time the boat had started to swing around, and then when I put it in gear, it had swung around enough to swing onto another mooring buoy, which is now snagged in the propeller. But I can't dive down, because if I dive down and cut the line, the boat's going to drift away. Fuck. The most important thing in situations like that is don't panic. And I didn't panic. It wasn't my fault, which is good. I didn't know the mooring buoy wasn't attached to the ground. It's just floating around. I mean, it's got a long piece of rope, but not attached to the earth. So that was just unavoidable. It's one of those things. If there's one of you on a boat, everything is more complicated. That was a good example of it. I just heard this weird noise, and apparently, if you can see the smoke coming out of that, this little battery charging device just exploded. Wow, that is weird. Yeah, it's hot. I don't know why that is, but at least nothing caught fire. But that just shows you how weird things are sometimes. And my electronics has been weird the past month. No longer, 6 weeks. But that was strange. I'm not going to enjoy this, but it just has to be done. The suit fills up with cold water. Fuck! Drop the knife. Well, it's partially successful in that I freed the boat, but it's too tangled. I can't get it off. It's just a really big, thick rope, and there's a metal sort of fastener on it as well, and it's just really tangled in. So I need to rethink my plan. I'm getting tired down there. That's when you make mistakes. And you don't want to make a mistake underwater. So, partial success. My plan is to string a couple of these lines together and tie myself off to that mooring buoy over there. And then, without even using the engines, just pull the front of the boat over to that buoy. And then I'll let the back of the boat drift around and log on to, and I can tie off onto that one. And then I'll be able to, then I can raise the anchor, pull myself onto that buoy, let the back of the boat swing around, and then tie myself onto that one as well. So I'm going to declare Operation Mooring Buoy move a roaring success. It's not an ideal position, but I don't know where I'm going to go next. It's going to be like really close to here, but I want to make sure that I know exactly where I'm going to go before I cast off. I mean, it's kind of funny because that's a problem that you're only going to get on a boat. And I don't know shit about boats. Still, I don't know. Well, I do a bit, but not much. But I mean, back in the loft in LA, I'd have had some different problem. It would have been a problem that I'd had to solve, but on a boat, it's just same problems, but wetter. I just want to put some more fuel in there, but I thought I'd just say hello. I've been eating stuff. So here we are. This is such a freaking awesome place to camp out because there's all these boats here and there's some people living on some of these boats, and it's free. You know, I mean, the Manoa Island Yacht Yard own that and that stuff, and someone else probably owns that one over there. But if they want you to move, they just say, hey, can you move your boat, we need this, and people move because, you know, why wouldn't you? I kind of wish I hadn't spent a year in the marina, but I'm also glad I did spend a year in the marina because that kind of just got me connected with Malta, and now I can pull away from it having got to know it a little bit better. That does make sense, yeah. So the shops are right over there. A couple of friends' boats are around here and over there, and my dinghy is out back. And the outboard motor was I should have bought a fucking good outboard motor way back, like 4 years ago. I thought I had a good one, but I didn't. And it's been a pain in the ass, and I've probably owned 5 of them since. Plus one electric one that just wasn't powerful enough. But it's like, it's just so nice when you know you've got a good, solid outboard motor. This is the one that I had. This from the beginning, and when it worked, it's fantastic. It's super lightweight and just moves the boat along nicely. But the 4-stroke is better, it's quieter, and just seems more reliable. And I really, really, really want a reliable outboard motor, and now I have one. So that's where we're at with the outboard motors. It's still got a fucking leak in the dinghy. Gonna have to pull it out again, which is a pain in the ass because it's more difficult to fix out here. There's nowhere I can, well, no, I can't pull it up here, it's too difficult. So I'll have to pull it on Tony Bill's pier over there and have someone ferry me backwards and forwards whilst I try and fix it once more. But I don't know if I can. If I can't fix it next time, I might even start looking for another dinghy because fuck it, you just want a nice dinghy that doesn't get your bum wet every time you sit in it.